guys, welcome back. And as you can see, I have a bunch of tiles laid out here, and it is finally time to reveal some of the results that I have gotten from my experimenting to create blooms that mimic real blooms with Shelley Carruthers' actual house paint recipe, which, as you know, I can no longer work with for the most part. Um, so these are some of the recipes, and I'm just going to go over the pros and cons of them, what worked and what didn't, and what I liked the best. So the very first ones that I did, this is actually the very first recipe that I mixed up, and I say that even though I didn't mix up really anything other than grabbing some regular Floetrol paints that I had already mixed up and just putting them down on some white that I had mixed up and doing a couple swipes and then doing a bloom. I was surprised at the results, so I did a couple more. And you do actually get really decent cell reactions. It doesn't look bad. And I know these are small tiles, but you can see hopefully that they did dry glossy, which was nice. So what this is my regular pouring medium recipe of American Floetrol, 4 parts to 1 part gloss gel medium. And the brand of gel medium doesn't matter. You can use pretty much anything. I've got some stuff from Hobby Lobby. I've gotten Artist Loft. I've got the Saks True Flow. My favorite that I've gotten Golden and Liquitex as well, and I like them both just fine. But my favorite one that I have used so far is from Speedball. And it appears as though Speedball is no longer producing that product. It is unfortunate because it is a wonderful texture that mixes down well, thins well, and gives a great result. But anyways, so this was my first set of tiles that I tried, and this was just with my regular pouring medium and my Aussie Floetrol cell activator, the same one that we've been using all along to do the blooms. Then I mixed a little bit of Josonja gloss varnish in with those, and as expected, I got an okay cell reaction. It wasn't awful. It wasn't really as crisp as just the Floetrol and gloss gel, but it did dry shinier. So I didn't mind that one. However, I can't really use the gloss varnish in my studio, so that defeats the purpose a little bit. And then I did up some other colors with the Floetrol. This one will surprise you. Floetrol gloss varnish, and I added Varathane triple thick. And these are the only tiles that cracked when they dried, and these were covered until they were completely dry. In fact, they were probably covered for 2 or 3 days, and every single one of them cracked. So that was a bit of a surprise. I did get some good cells out of that, but something went wrong there in the mix, and I had a lot of cracking with just the Floetrol gel gloss and triple thick. This is one tile that I did. I added more gloss varnish, the Josonja, and I also added a little bit more gel gloss to thicken the paints a bit, and got a pretty decent result. However, this one had some cracking issues as well. No, you know what? I used JoWa, so my mixture of Josonja gloss varnish and water with extra gloss gel, and I didn't think I got a better or worse result than my original, so there was really no point to the JoWa. And then the final mixture that I tried, I had watched a video by Venom Floetrol. So this one is 2 parts Varathane triple thick, 3 parts of my pouring medium, the Floetrol and gloss gel, and 1 part Josonja varnish. And this actually gave really good results, really interesting, cool cells, lots of tiny ones, lots of lacing. It did not dry shiny, which seems odd to me with that much varnish in it, that it would dry so dull. But I'm not a scientist. I'm just showing you the results that I got. So overall, ultimately, I think that the best results that I got was keeping it simple. And I think now the trick is to kind of figure out the precise amount of Floetrol to gloss gel to get that perfect reaction. However I had it mixed up previously worked out really, really well. So I'll be doing a little bit more experimenting with that. Some of the things that I tried that did not work and that actually had a negative impact on the cell structure, adding gloss pouring medium from Artist Loft was bad. Terrible results. What else did I add? Oh, Elmer's glue did not work. GAC 100 actually made everything super, super thin. And for this particular Bloom knockoff recipe, your Bloom colors have to be thicker than what you're used to working with, because it doesn't have the elasticity of house paint, and so you need something to hold it together. Otherwise, you will get something like this, where the colors thin so much that the pillow shows through. And this isn't fully dry yet. I just did this one earlier today. I did this one yesterday. It did dry pretty glossy, but also very, very, very thin. And I've had to thicken up these paints that I have. I've also messed around with different pillow recipes. I used one from Garrett Brown, and I can't remember the other ones. However, the Artist Loft Soft Body White creates loft to the pillow that makes the colors on top very thin. That's what this one was, and a lot of white showed through. I did still get the cells and lacing, but the colors didn't stay on top of the pillow well. So I went back to just a regular mix of Amsterdam titanium white in my Floetrol and gloss medium mix. So that's about it for this segment, and I will come back once I get set up and show you some of the blooms that you can create with just that simple recipe. So I'll be back. Alright, I have mixed up some more different colors for this experiment, and I have my white pillow, which is mixed exactly the same as all of my colors. So it is Amsterdam titanium white to tint the American Floetrol gloss gel mixture, and not thinned at all. So I have a little 8-inch round canvas that I'm working on, and I have not even picked my color order or which ones I'm going to use. I have finally mixed up some TLP pigments. I've got Golden Peach, Ball Gown, Grenache, Nightfall, and Lagoon. And for two paints, I have all, these are all Amsterdam except for um, the magenta, which is Liquitex Quinacridone Magenta. So I have the magenta, I have turquoise, permanent blue violet, ultramarine blue, pyrrole red, phthalo green, and azo yellow. And I've got my deep gold cell activator made with Amsterdam Deep Gold, Golden's QNAG, and Aussie Floetrol. So I will sort of pick my color order as I go, I guess. So I'm going to, this is my first canvas with this new mixture for my blooms, and it is my largest attempt. I want to see how it behaves over a larger area. So that is the purpose of this kind of stepping up in size. I find that with this particular pillow, I have to kind of spread it out manually because it is so thick. And keep in mind that you need to keep your pillow tint heavy. So it has to be something heavy like Amsterdam paints. Otherwise, you're going to have issues with it bubbling up through your colors and your pigments. You can't use cheap bulk soft-bodied paint like Artist Loft. It just does not work. But one nice thing about using an all acrylic pouring medium for both pillow and colors and pigments, you can torch it and not worry about scorching your surface. So let's start out with, I always like to put Ball Gown as the starter color. So let's put that down. And I think that I'll off-center it and blow it upward and see what happens. So that's TLP Ball Gown. And let's do a little of the magenta. And keep in mind too that your bloom paints and pigments need to be a solid 3-second trace or greater. They do need to be quite dense to hold their own over this pillow. Then we're going to go with, how about some Lagoon? This is TLP Lagoon. And a little bit of phthalo green. And going with Golden Peach from TLP. I'm obviously not going to use all of the colors I have mixed up here. Let's see what will go good. Let's do a little bit of the blue violet. And I think that's going to be it for color. And I'm going to blow this out with my little purple wazer. You can get the nozzle to stay on. Let's get our cell activator ready. And let's go. Not too bad of a blowout. I do find that the cell activator likes to sit heavy for a little bit. So I'll speed through this part where I'm waiting for the cells to come up. All right, let's give her a spin. I find you have to be really, really careful because it's super easy to blow into your pillow with this recipe. And this does require it to be much more about your technique than anything else. Get some gloves on so I can pick this up and tilt it just to get some coverage here. One thing's for sure, you really don't get the wonky cells, and I'm cool with that. Now this sort of behaves a lot like Behr 3300 if you're using that on its own, the untinted base as your pouring medium, in that it does dull your colors and pigments slightly, then dries clear. And see, I have quite a bit of pillow pop through here and throughout, and there is a possibility that I need to adjust the pouring medium formula to contain more gloss gel, just to help it hold together better. Because it definitely wants to flocculate and open up, and you can see it on this end significantly where I blew the paint up and outward. So I'm just going to give this a good hard tilt and get rid of that. That was pretty quick. Got rid of most of it right away and got these nicer, juicier cells to kind of expand more. So I think one more tilt if I have enough paint left on the canvas. see a lot of the pillow coming up through. And I don't know if this is something that can be overcome. And of course I will continue to experiment and try new things as they come to mind or become a suggested ad. But for now, the recipe that I'm using is delivering pretty decent results. I'm not unhappy entirely. I don't want my pillow obviously coming up like it has, but I do like the cell formation, the lacing, the peacock cells are really working well. So, I mean, overall, it's a pretty good result considering there's no house paint, and the only varnish that I use is the Josonja water, which is mixed down 1 part Josonja to 5 parts distilled water. That is just to wet my pigments, so there's not a lot in there. It does not work as well to add Josonja to your colors, but it isn't detrimental either if you need to use it to thin down some extra thick tube paints. It's unlikely that you would need to do that, however. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with these results. Let me bring you down and I'll show you what I've managed to figure out. And then from here, I'm going to try some different colored bases, so that if having the base pop up through is going to be something of a thing with this particular recipe, at least it won't be stark white like it is. Okay, so this is what I've got here. And even though the white base is there, and this is the flocculation I was talking about. If I can figure out a way to conquer it, then I will definitely bring that information to you. But all in all, this is really not a bad example of a Faux Sheleeart bloom. I'm pretty happy with it. Alright, so I've got a colored pillow mixed up. This is, there was a little bit, maybe half an inch of the white pillow left in the bottom, so I poured some more Floetrol gloss gel pouring medium in and added Arteza Pearl Gold Copper and a couple of drops of Golden's Fluids Cuneg to get this cappuccino color, which I thought was really cool. And I am going to be using TLP Ball Gown, Grenache from TLP, Golden Peach, leaving out the cooler colors, and I think I will use some Amsterdam Pyrrole Red, some Azo Yellow, I don't have another warm one mixed up, so what can we throw in there to kind of throw a curveball? Yeah, the blue violet. So we'll see how this goes. It should be really interesting. So this is a 10-inch glass trivet. So let's get some pillow down. We can torch a little bit of bubbles from the freshly mixed pillow. And let's see, and I'm going to use the gold cell activator again. So let's start with, let's start with the Grenache on the bottom. And this one I'm going to blow out more evenly. I'm going to try to get a bit more paint on so I can see if I can conquer that flocculation. And let's do the yellow on top of the Grenache. And we'll do some golden peach. And the pyrrole red. Interesting color combination here. Ball gown. And you know what, maybe I should do, I'm going to do the magenta. Just sort of in keeping with the warmth. This is quite a red magenta. Big bloop. Some of these paints mixed up super thick. And it's fine. Thick is not bad in regards to this particular recipe. Maybe try a little less cell activator in ratio this time. Okay, I think that looks good. And of course, as usual, we have to manipulate and then wait to get those cells to come up. The cells do need to be formed and present before you do any spinning with this recipe. And you also have to be very mindful of not getting too far into that pillow. That's why I'm mouth blowing. I'm going to try giving it a spin and see where it goes. We're getting some really good cells coming up. And I know this light color popping through is not pillow, that is ball gown. So that will dry fine. Ooh, really pretty. Really, really pretty. And what I'm looking for is this cappuccino color coming up through. I won't be able to see it clearly because number one, it is metallic, and number two, it is very close to the color combination that I've chosen, and there are other colors that can mix together to disguise this. So creating a pillow that is close to your color palette, maybe with some metallic in it, might just be the answer for this. It's time for it to roll over these edges on the next spin, so we need to make sure that it's capable of doing that. Just paving the way. Looking pretty good. The edges are rolling over because they need a little help. And a little bit harder spin. Quite nice, quite good results. I can definitely live with this. Am I over? This edge could go over a little bit more. It's really nice to not have the melty, warpy cells. That nice even drying without having to cover everything. I do enjoy that part. Ah yes, all the corners are covered. This is really nice. Got some very nice structure. These dry a lot different than what you see when you're actually creating it too. So keep that in mind. So I'm gonna grab my camera and bring you in and kind of show off these beautiful multicolor cells and really nice reactions. Okay, she's a beauty. Really nice, well-developed cells. This cell activator in the center will continue to react as it sets. This light area you see is the ball gown, and you can see a little bit of flocculation in it, but we'll see how it dries. I tried to get a lot more paint down so that I wouldn't get that, but we'll see how it dries. That's really what matters. She's beautiful. So these do dry pretty fast and very flat. The center part is still a little wet, but I wanted to show you the shimmer that shows up as they dry. And two things about this bit of color mixing, flocculation, whatever you want to call it, is don't blow your paints out thin and don't spin too much if you want to avoid this. Now this is the canvas one, and this one is markedly different. You can really see the canvas texture which I have not tried to resin, so I don't know if resin's going to make that go away. And of course these thinned out, faded, flocculated areas are from blowing the paint too thin and maybe spinning a little too much. But if you don't want to get that canvas texture, don't paint on canvas. That's pretty simple. But they do dry really well. The cell activator continues to develop more cells as they sit and dry, and you do get that shimmer back, and they are quite beautiful. So that is a wrap, and I hope this is helpful, and I hope that everyone who's watching this who has struggled with the house paint and varnish toxicity, or just has an aversion to having those toxic fumes in their home and don't have another option, find this useful, and they're able to bloom and enjoy it again. Thanks for watching, and I will catch you next time. Bye-bye.